Hey people, what's up? It's Jameel, and right now I'm working on something as really important to me. It's called the jurisdiction of the gang stalking program. And after listening to many stories of people going through gang stalking, and this isn't just stories I've heard of people on YouTube. This is stories of people who call me personally. I've had people call me from New York City. I've had people call me literally all over the world. I've talked to people in other countries now who've gone through gang stalking, and the jurisdiction of the gang stalking program varies. And when I say jurisdiction, I'm not talking about necessarily in the legal sense, as you know, if you get pulled over in a certain state, certain laws apply. I'm talking about jurisdiction in the sense of who you are as an individual and what they can manifest in your life, or in a sense, unmanifest, what they can bring to you or take from you. And there's certain people that go through certain levels of gang stalking now. If you were to listen to Ted Gunderson, who is the former head of Los Angeles FBI, his experience of gang stalking was, in a sense, very unique. There's very few people in the world like him, especially very few people like him who've actually gone through gang stalking. But we'll never know, though, because a lot of these people who are high up, said, like Ted Gunderson, head of the Los Angeles FBI for over 20 years, very few people like him are actually going to come out and admit they've been gang stalked that are on that level. And so I'm pretty sure there's been presidents or congressmen or senators who've gone through gang stalking. We definitely know there's been movie stars in Hollywood. Martin Lawrence, that was definitely a gang stalking case. Now, he hasn't said it. He didn't say it was, but I just know it was. Cat Williams, Britney Spears. There's been many people that's happened to. Way more than that. That's just what I'm bringing off the top of my head of influential people. But okay, so jurisdiction. Now, for me, gang stalking was pretty surprising. I've seen them be able to gang stalk just about anybody, right? And there's even people who hear voices from the V2K. And the thing about a lot of this stuff is the American public has somehow fallen asleep to what happened back in the 70s with the congressional hearings involving the Central Intelligence Agency. And the director of the Central Intelligence Agency at that time admitted, yes, we have technology where we can make people hear audible voices. We can greatly influence the psychology of a person and affect how they think, how they live, how they perceive the reality around them. Basically, mind control. And the program at that time was called MK Ultra, and it was very obvious that these people within the Central Intelligence Agency, and these were card-carrying members of the Central Intelligence Agency. This wasn't like, 80% of the Central Intelligence Agency is unknown. So this wasn't like some black project in a warehouse somewhere. This was like card-carrying people who went to Langley, people who were highly educated. And at that point, the American public listened to everything, but, the 70s ended, and then the 80s and 90s came, and people just kind of look at you weird now if you talk about it, but it's there on record, congressional hearing. And then in today's world, MK Ultra really isn't, I wouldn't classify MK Ultra as the correct term to go by. That, I would more call it remote neural monitoring. And MK Ultra and gang stalking really have nothing to do with each other. They're two separate things. But I'm talking about the experiences I had of people claiming to have had heard voices and stuff like that. So remote neural monitoring, that's more closely aligned with what the MK Ultra program used to be. And so when people would call me and tell me like they're hearing voices and they hear noises in their house and stuff, at the time I'm just like, is this person being gang stalked, or is this person a part of like some black budget program or something? They just don't know about it. And I came to the conclusion it is gang stalking. They're not under any MK Ultra program. And so for them, their jurisdiction is their mind, the psychology of who they are as a person. For me, it varied. For me, it's really, they really like to use people. I don't know why that is, but I guess they see me. I used to be more of a closed off person, and now I've become more and more open. And so I think they see that, and they like to use people around me, which actually has helped me a lot because it's taught me to embrace people. Like when I'm out in public and I see gang stalkers, I just embrace them and talk to them 110% no matter what. And it's getting to the point now to where after I set up these classes and these courses, I just got people pouring in, just calling me and talking to me, and it's pretty exciting. Now the most important thing to me in the world is is a woman, right? And me and her right now we're not on talking terms. We can't talk right now because our relationship. What all it is I can't speak to her vocally, and this has to do with the dynamic of the family, the gang stalking program, and so it's just based on her being used by the gang stalking program against me. But there's a lot of things she won't do. They want her. There's a lot of things the gang stalking program wants her to do, and she just won't do it. And me and her definitely have some sort of a strong connection. And you know, I mean, we want to be with each other, but the gang stalking program is just using her as a commodity, kind of like Wall Street or something like that. They're like, damn, you know, if we can, gang stalking program is looking at it like, if we can hold her and hold her back from Jameel, then that's going to be something we can use against Jameel anytime we want. And then right now, it's just like, I saw that there's a lot of things that happen between me and this family. If they're watching, you know, I love all of you. I got no, I'm just telling my story. But all right, so I'm probably out of all the people in this neighborhood, I know I'm closest. Me and that family are, even though there's no talking going on right now. I can just feel it. I'm just the closest to those people out of everything that's happened since the years I've been here. But anyhow, the daughter, man, fucking baby boy, and so, you know, they want to put her in a position where they could use her against me, and she's just not going for it. And at the same time, I mean, I've never seen a female this happy to be around me. I mean, I've had girls, I've had girlfriends, you know, I've had females that I've been around that really like me, that I make laugh and stuff, and they really enjoy my company. But with her, it's different. She just gets so excited, and it's just, to me, she's like the most important person in the world. You know, it's like if I make somebody that happy and they enjoy my presence that much, and there's no way I'm going to let the gang stalking program keep me from that person. It's just like, you know, this is going to be a fight, you know, and I'm going to win. That's my fucking baby. She really can't, you know, because of the pressure that she's under within the family dynamic through the gang stalking, it's not simple for her just to speak her voice and be like, just fuck that, I'm going to go talk to Jameel. You know, I don't think it's that simple. And so there's a lot of times when they were using her, when the gang stalking was going on, and I would see her. I always see her. She'd always be laughing and smiling. If you're watching this, yeah, I saw you. She'd always be laughing and smiling and stuff. And so it's weird. It's like, even when I was off YouTube for a while, I was off YouTube for like 2-3 months, and at that period they were still using her. And there's a lot. It's so unique because she just wouldn't do what they wanted her to do. But at the same time, she would do enough to get by. But she would always be like, you know, I can always tell her from the rest of the people. And so I'm at the point now, man, I'm just like, you know, I got to make this work, man. That's the most important person to me. And if I fought so hard for Jim Jones and the People's Temple to learn the secrets of the Central Intelligence Agency, which ended me up in a life-death situation on Hollywood Boulevard. For those of you who don't know, I went through many years of conspiracy research, and I ended up going out and doing interviews that attracted the attention of the most notable secret societies in the world. One of them put presidents in the White House more than once. I know at least of 2 presidents they put in the White House. I'm sure more than that. And so then another one of them runs the motion picture industry. And so for people out there who listen to conspiracy on the internet and they read books on the internet, it's one thing to be on YouTube talking about conspiracies and talking about controversy in the world. And people will come on and talk about the Trilateral Commission, the Council on Foreign Relations, and people just throw these words and these terms around, having no clue of how these people work and what they're really like, and what's it like to meet these people in person. That's a whole different experience. And you know, actually, to be honest with you, one of the guy I met in Hollywood, very very powerful man. You know, if he's watching this, you know, I mean, he knows he is. You know. He's okay with me, you know. I got no problem with you, dog. So, but it was very interesting experience meeting him, and it's just a way different experience. I think I've experienced something in my life doing these interviews, going to Hollywood, actually meeting these people, and learning the things I've learned, and beating the life death, then getting put in the gang stalking program. This is just something that very few people will ever experience what I've experienced, and it's just these people know, it's just I have a relationship with these people. Not so much anymore. I think the secret societies have kind of just wrote me off. They kind of said, we don't think Jameel is going to go back out there and run his mouth again about this. And they're right, I'm not. I'm done, man. I'm done. But the gang stalking program still continues. And so, again, if I fought so hard for Jim Jones and Jonestown, learning the secrets and the Manson thing and all the other stuff I was caught up in, and I fought hard for the gang stalking program to go out and pass out flyers and to go around meeting people and talking to people over and over and over and over again, even across the country, bus stop after bus stop and all that stuff. If I did all that just to be able to get to the point to where I can say, yeah, I'm the only person who wants to be gang stalked, I'm the first person in the world, and I definitely can lay it down and go out of my way for this young woman who's definitely the most important. Her happiness, man. Her smile is so beautiful, and it's just like that's all I want to do is be able to make her happy and be able to make sure she's safe and stuff, without the gang stalking program being able to try to use the family to keep that from happening. Like I love the family and stuff like that, but man, that's my baby, man. The gang stalking program is gonna have to get out of the way, and so the jurisdiction of the gang stalking program doesn't apply there. It just doesn't, man. I love it. Man, that's my fucking baby. I love her, man. All the stuff that's gone on in the last year and everything, and so they don't have any jurisdiction in that. And there's a lot of things the gang stalking program doesn't have jurisdiction in, but they want people to believe they do. If they truly had jurisdiction over you, they'd be able to just pull up in a white van and just rush you off somewhere to some warehouse somewhere. It doesn't work like that. Stuff like that does happen. I mean, stuff like that does happen in the world, but their jurisdiction doesn't apply there. And and the funny thing is, the young woman I'm talking about, if it hadn't been for her, I wouldn't have been able to grind through getting out of my mother's house. I was in my mother's house for a month, man. I thought this was a neighborhood hit. It turned out just to be gang stalking, and it was through her that I was able to get out of the house and do all this stuff. And so my life right now, when people are listening to my interviews and people are listening to me on YouTube and they're studying my life right now and they come to YouTube, what you're seeing is two different things. You're seeing me communicating with this young woman, man. I fucking love my life, man. I'd do anything for her. And then you see, it's two different worlds. There's my communication with that concept. Then there's my communication with people on YouTube, and a lot of people watching me on YouTube really have no idea of the type of life I live. They see YouTube and they see a YouTube video. They see me talking about gang stalking, but they don't have the awareness of what gang stalking is. They just don't. They don't have. A lot of people don't have awareness of much of anything, and I don't mean that to put people down. But there's a lot of people out there, when you get into alternative research or conspiracy research and all that, there's a lot of people who just have no clue. And a few years ago, I used to hear people say that. I used to hear people say they have no idea. The public has no idea. If they had any idea, they would know. They have no idea. And I used to hear that. I used to be like, yeah, that's true. But I didn't know what it really meant. You know what I mean? I'm just listening to it. And now that I've gone through all my experiences and I've seen it, the public really does not have a good idea of how things work and what goes on. And it's given me a sense of a notoriety. When I'm out, if I leave and I go out, a lot of the people who I've noticed it. I've noticed some police officers, especially the ones who are like high. I mean, all police officers, have a gun and a badge, so all of them are high up as far as I'm concerned. But the ones who are higher up in rank, a lot of them look at me, and a lot of them they don't know my life, but they know enough about me to know that I know what life's about. I've experienced some stuff, and I have knowledge of stuff, and so it gives you a little bit more, in a sense, respect. when you've gone through so much. Even if the person doesn't like you, they still know. But so for people watching YouTube, what you've seen is you've seen somebody, myself, who's been studying conspiracies their whole life, who went out and talked about them, and then everything I was talking about came into my life. What I put out came back. So I had to grind through that. And then after that, then the gang stalking program came. And now I have to grind through that. And so now I have to grind through the situation, man, of this woman, man. I'm not going to let, I'm not going to let the gang stalking program, be able to have their say in that. She showed me numerous times. I mean, God, man, her smile and stuff. So it's just a complex situation. But I think what's going to happen is I think more and more people that listen to YouTube are, as time goes on, as the weeks and the months and the years go on, people are going to be able to look back at me, and they're going to see that this was more of a journey. Like my videos on YouTube and everything I'm talking about, it's more of a journey than just a video. This is more of like a series of things in my life that are occurring, and so it's pretty phenomenal. I think it's pretty interesting. So I'm like coming out with a lot of videos and stuff about the jurisdiction of gang stalking. And to the girl, she's watching this, Yeah.